Hello everyone. I am glad that you visited my channel. My name is Julia. You are in the process of knitting in style. This is yet another part of the masterclass on the bear hat. You can find the first 3 parts in the links below the video. Here is this hat. Today, we will knit the ears for the hat and the ties. In the last part, we finished knitting the hat. Its height turned out to be about 18 centimeters. I knit 11 rows straight without increases. We can notice here, examine our seam. Yes, the diagonal seam. Here it goes. Here it is. It looks like this. Now, I will show you our old hat, which also has a diagonal seam, but looks a bit different, because it is knit with regular joins. Here we have Teddy Bear. Yes, it's on the channel. Look, here's how this seam looks. This is how this seam looks. I don't know. Basically, both seams are diagonal. If you don't like that they are a bit skewed, then you need to knit in rows back and forth. So now, at the end of our knitting, we make 1 chain stitch, pull the yarn, and cut it. That's it. We finished knitting the fabric itself. Now we need to knit the ears, so I knitted 1 ear to make it clearer and more visual for you. Look here. What we do to knit such an ear? Yes, we fold the hat in half so that our seam is in the middle. Yes, roughly like this. We turn it to the right side. Here is the front of the hat, yes? And we check that this ear comes out here, about 1 centimeter or 1.5. If your size is smaller, then 1 centimeter. If the hat is larger, then 1.5. I took about 1.5 centimeters. Here I have it. I marked the 4th stitch from the edge with a marker. Likewise here, yes, we mark the 4th stitch from the edge with a marker. Further from these markers, we count towards the seam. For example, you can crochet a width of 17 double crochets. You can do it with 15. You can do it with 13. You can do it with 11. In the fur hat, I crocheted 11 double crochets. Yes, that is, I marked it with a marker. But here I marked 15, as the yarn is thinner. So, we are marking from this marker 15 double crochets. The first stitch is the one marked by the marker. Then we have the second, the third, and so on up to 15. I marked the 15th with a marker. Also on this side we mark here with a marker. Yes. Starting from the ear, we count 15 double crochets toward the seam. Yes, this will be the width of our ear. We marked it with a marker. And for accuracy, we can count from the seam, so that the number matches our markers. Move something slightly if we've skewed it a bit, yes. That's it. We marked it with a marker, and now we crochet the ear itself. We take the front side toward ourselves. And now, I will show how we will crochet the ear. Here's our seam. Here's the ear. Yes. Place the front side toward you, and insert the hook into the stitch where our marker is. We grab the working yarn, pull it through the stitch and crochet 1 chain stitch. I am crocheting with 2 threads. Yes. Then we lower the end of the yarn and crochet 1 more chain stitch. This will be our first stitch. The marker can now be removed, it's in our way. What do we do next? We continue crocheting with stitches. With double crochets up to our marker, yes. We should have 15 double crochets, including the lift stitches. This is our first stitch. Next, the second stitch, we crochet, and at the same time, lay the yarn to hide it. The second, the third, and we continue crocheting to the marker. I connected 15 double crochet stitches, including the chain stitches. Now let's measure how much this will be in centimeters. Well, it's about 7.5 centimeters, about 8. The width of my fur hat was about 9 centimeters. Next, look, we no longer need this marker, the second one. We remove it, and now we start knitting the ear, decreasing stitches. We will decrease by 2 stitches in each row. We are moving up to the second row. 2 chain stitches. We turn the work, which means we will be knitting in rows now. Second row. Our first row had 15 double crochet stitches. The second row will have 13 double crochet stitches, minus 2 stitches. How do I do this? Here are the chain stitches. This is my first stitch. The second stitch and the third stitch I decrease, meaning I crochet the second and third stitches together with one top. Here's our first one. Now we knit the second one. Here is the second stitch added. We knit the double crochet stitch, but don't finish it, okay? Don't finish one action. Then again, yarn over, and the second stitch is also not finished. We have 3 loops on the hook, and we crochet them in one go. That is, it's 2 double crochets with a shared top. You can check my lessons to see how this is done. We decreased from 2 stitches, and we got 1 loop. We have made 1 decrease just now, right? Next, we will knit regular double crochet stitches to the end of the row. At the end, we will also do a decrease. Here I have knitted 11 stitches. This includes the chain stitches, right? And I counted this decrease as 1 stitch. 11 stitches have been knitted. Next, I have to connect 2 columns. Now I will be decreasing. That is, I decrease the second and third columns from the end. Just like at the beginning, the second and third. I do not touch the outer columns. It seems to me that it looks, well, more beautiful when the outer ones are regular. I make a yarn over. I insert the hook. Well, that is, I combine 2 double crochets with a shared top. We decreased, right, and the last column. Many insert the hook between the last and the second to last column of the previous row, right. But I insert the hook into the column itself right here. I try to insert the hook into the very last column of the previous row and crochet a double. That's it. In the end, we have 13 columns with a yarn over. We decrease 2 stitches in this row. Let's move up to the next row. We make 2 chain stitches to rise, turn the work. And, friends, I want to point out, initially we should have an odd number of columns. I said so. 17, 15, 13, 11. Well, something like that, so that in the end it all turns out correctly. So, we moved to the next row. We do the same. This is our first column crocheted. Next, we crochet the second and third columns from the edge together with one top. We finish that. Next, we crochet to the end of the row. At the end, we also make a decrease. Here, 9 columns are crocheted, just as I said. I include the rise stitches and I count these 2 columns as 1. 9 columns are crocheted. We crochet the 10th. This is 2 columns together with a shared top. The 10th, the 11th column. In the last column of the previous row. 11 columns are completed. We move on to the next row. 2 chain stitches for lifting. We turn the work, and in this row, ideally, there should be 9 columns, since there were 11 in the previous one. That is, in each decrease. Next, we knit with regular columns. 7 columns are completed. The 8th is our decrease, which means 2 columns with 1 top. Here it is knitted, and the last column. The last column of the previous row. As a result, 9 columns with a yarn over. We move on to the next row. 2 chain stitches for lifting. We turn the work. I think you've grasped the essence, friends. In the second stitch we insert the hook. We do not complete the yarn over column. In the third stitch, we also do not complete the column and knit 3 stitches together. This is how we decreased from one side. Next, we continue to the edge. Here we have 5 columns completed. The 6th we knit is a column consisting of 2 columns. That is, with a common top, our decrease, the 6th column and the 7th, are the last column of the previous row. We knit a regular yarn over column. As a result, 7 columns. We move on to the next row. Here there should be 5 yarn over columns. Here is one we have, then the decrease is the 2nd, 3rd, then the 4th and 5th we decrease. That is the 4th decrease, and the 5th is the last. Column of the previous row. After knitting a bit, you will understand yourself. You will see where to make decreases at the end of each row. As a result, 5 columns. We move on to the next row, turn the work. Here there should be 3 columns. Look at what we do here. This is the first one we have. Next we make a yarn over. Insert the hook, pull out the yarn. We do not complete the first stitch. We do the same with the second stitch, do not complete it, and with the third one. That is, here we already have 3 stitches with a common top. We haven't completed them. 3 stitches, in the end, there should be 4 loops on the hook. And we work them all together in one go. This means that from 3 stitches we got 1, plus the first stitch from the chain of starting stitches. 2 result in the third stitch is in the last stitch of the previous row. In the end, from 5 stitches we got 3. By the way, friends, if you want to make braids here, cut several strands, about 60 centimeters long, and pull them here and braid. If you want to do that, then at this moment we will stop. That is, having reached 3 stitches, but since in this hat, I am not braiding. But making cords differently, we continue to knit. 2 chain stitches, turn the work and decrease. That is, from 3 stitches we should get 1. That is, look, by the way, not 2 chain stitches here, but 1 chain stitch. Next, we make a yarn over. We insert the hook into the second stitch. We do not complete it, and again, a yarn over. We insert the hook into the last stitch, that is, into the last stitch of the previous row. And we do not complete it either, 3 loops. So from 3 stitches, we should get 1. That is, we work 3 stitches with a common top. We grab the hook and pull through the 3 loops on the hook. We have thus decreased our ear. After this, I do not cut the yarn, but immediately knit the cord. Look, I have like 1 loop on the hook. After that, what do? I insert the hook right here about like this. I catch the yarn, pull it out. I have 2 loops on the hook, I catch the yarn. I pull it through 1 loop, and catch the yarn again. I'm pulling through 2 loops already. This is how I start knitting the cord. After that, we knit an elastic cast on edge. I have a video tutorial. Here's a hint at the top, where you can go and see how it is knitted. Look, in this ear I have the length of this cord at about 16 centimeters. It stretches to 20 centimeters. Here I knitted 20 stitches with this yarn. In my fur hat, the length of the cord was around 15 centimeters. There, I knitted 18 stitches and it also stretches to 20 centimeters. So orientiruitis pad linie okolo 15 to 20 centimeters. I think that will be a good length. We knit in general to the desired length and cut the yarn. We make a chain stitch, we cut the yarn. Then it needs to be hidden here. Well, here, 20 stitches are knitted with one chain stitch for securing. We pull the yarn, cut it and tighten, that's it. We have such ties. In the fur hat, it looks cuter because there is more volume in the yarn. For now, we'll stop here. In the next part, which will come very soon, we will continue. So subscribe so you don't miss anything. Finish everything, and we will meet in the next video. We will keep